Hello everyone, Phil Pravda, founder, CEO of SuitCafe.com, and we are back at it right here. And I'm going to do an update video of a video I did back in the spring of 2019 about how to measure and wear your belt so you will never ever buy a missized belt again. So here we go. Don't you hate it when you walk into a store and even if you know your belt size, you're just not sure exactly what size to wear? Let's say your pants are a size 36. So do you buy a 34? Do you buy a 36? Do you buy a 38? How do you know exactly where you should be wearing your belt? What hole should this belt be in? Now, as you can see on the screen here, this is YouTube. I made a video back in 2019 of exactly how to measure your belt and how to wear your belt, and if you had to size it, how to cut it down to size and get it to be exactly your right size. So I'm going to go over that again. I'm going to make it a little shorter than the prior video and a little more concise in terms of the details to better explain exactly how you can do this. So the first thing you want to do and you want to realize is that when you wear the belt, your final result should be that you are wearing your belt in the center hole. So this belt and most belts have 5 holes. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You have 5 holes right there on this belt. This one happens to be a black crocodile, but it could be anything. Could be leather, could be suede, could be a skin, crocodile, snake, python, eel skin is now popular for belts, all different types. And you want to make sure that when you wear your belt, you are in the middle hole. So middle meaning you have now 2 holes on the left and 2 holes overlapping on the right, just like this. This gives you the optimal overlap of your belt when you're wearing it. It doesn't matter what kind of pants you're wearing, whether it's trousers or jeans, anything with belt loops, you want to have the right amount of overlap. You don't want it to be too far over, and you don't want it to be too short where it doesn't fit into this extra loop here, or the extra loop on your actual trouser pants. This could fit inside, it can hold it down. So you want to be right in the middle. So how do you do that? Well, you have to measure the belt to be sure it's the right size for you. So measuring a belt, you have to be very careful because manufacturers measure belts different ways. So one manufacturer might say, okay, this belt is a 36. So how do we know it's a 36? Where are they measuring from? Are they starting from the top of the buckle? Are they starting from where this pin part is that goes through the belt on the other side? Are they starting from over here? And then where do they measure to? Do they stop in the middle hole where you should be wearing your belt, or are they stopping at the very tip? So in my experience in the clothing business for a long, long time, manufacturers measure all different ways. I've seen them measure from here to the middle hole. I've seen them measure from the pin buckle to the center hole. And it's very difficult to tell how they're doing it unless you can walk around with your own tape measure and do it, which maybe I should recommend walking around with your own tape measure. So in any event, the way you get the actual size of the belt is you want to measure to the middle hole. That's the most important part because that's where you want to wear your belt as your end result. And you want to start measuring not from the top of the buckle, but from over here, because when you actually put this through, when you're actually making your belt, that's where this winds up. This winds up here at the end. It doesn't finish up here. It finishes over here. So you want to start measuring from here all the way to this center hole, and you'll get the right size of your belt. So let's see this one, which should be my size. Okay, I'm going to start right here, and I'm just going to hold the tape measure along as I measure, just like this. Just keep holding it until you get to that center hole. So this belt is, whoop, I passed it. This is a 36-inch belt. So this measures a 36-inch belt. Now, my pants are really not 36. I'm more like a 34. So I wear a 36-inch belt even though I'm a 34-inch waist. That's how this measures. So you have to be careful how the manufacturer is measuring. This belt is actually a 36-inch belt. Now, let's say you buy a belt and it's just too long for you. Let's say you thought you're measuring correctly and it's just too long. How are you going to make that belt smaller? Well, a lot of people like to say, hey, I'll go to my shoemaker or I'll buy one of those hole punch machines and I say, hey, add me like 3 more holes. over here. Or you're losing weight and you say, hey, look, I lost weight. Great. I used to be over here. Add me 3 more holes. Well, what is that going to do? That's going to make the overlap much, much longer. Now, if you're losing weight, you might want to show people, hey, look how much weight I lost. That's great. And, that is great. So, go ahead and show it off. But if you want to wear it correctly, you still want to be in that middle hole. So the best thing to do is to shorten the belt. And you can't shorten it, obviously, from this side with the holes. You have to shorten it from the buckle side. Now, how are you going to do that? Well, this one in particular, and many belts like it, have removable buckles. There's a little screw here. You undo this screw. The buckle comes off. And then you measure the same way from the top of the piece of leather that's underneath here all the way down to the middle hole, or where you want to have it. And you measure exactly where you want to cut this side of the belt. Okay? So you want to see where that 36 comes out. So we're going to start from the middle hole, because that's where we want to be in the end. Okay, so we're starting from the middle hole. And remember, this is if the belt needs to be shorter. And we're going to measure all the way up to the exact waist measurement that we want. Okay, this one is, 36 right here. But let's say it's going to be longer because we're going to cut a piece off. Let's say 36 winds up to be over here. So we have a couple of inches that we're going to cut off. So right at that line, you want to mark it with a pencil. And you take a scissor and you cut it. And then after you cut it, you will have the exact length of the belt that you want to get to the middle hole. Of course, you're going to have to punch a hole in here, whether you have the hole punching tool for leather, or you use an awl or a hammer and a nail, or you go to your shoemaker and you say, can you punch a hole for me? And then you can put the screw back in that has this buckle, and you just screw it down. Now, there are belts that are stitched. They don't have removable buckles. So what do you do there? In that case, you have to go to the shoemaker, because they have the machine to sew through leather, and they can cut that buckle off. They can make the belt shorter for you, and they can put that buckle back on by sewing it back on with the special machine that can actually stitch through the leather. That has a special needle that is strong enough to go through any type of leather. And that's how you want to do it. So rewind this video, watch it a couple of times so you understand exactly how to do the measurement. And then if you have to go to your shoemaker, tell your shoemaker, here's where I want the belt to be cut, because I measured from the middle hole, and that's where I want my belt to be shorter. And then you'll have the exact right size belt. And if you go to a store and you want to make sure you're buying the right size, and you know your waist size, make sure that you're going to wind up in that middle hole in the end. And there you go. There you'll have your right size belt all the time with the right amount of overlap after you put it on. And you'll never buy the wrong size belt again. So thanks for watching, and subscribe, because there's a lot more videos like this coming, updates of older videos that I've done in the past, and see you again when we're back at it.